So a super quick market update for you all today. So what the heck is going on with one moment markets are aggressively dropping and then another moment they form a V-shaped recovery? Let's quickly talk about it. So first off, let's talk about the news because I don't. For those that don't care about my trades, I want to give you the details first. This message was sent like 2 or 3 hours before the market opened. Again, I'm pretty sure this is like the account. I'm not 100% sure, but it says the U.S. president keeps saying that they have the strongest military force in the world. The strongest military force in the world may at times be struck so hard that it cannot get up again. There's obviously tension between Iran and the U.S. That is what, to my understanding, was creating a lot of uncertainty in the market. The really odd thing about that is this wasn't really happening during the pre-market session. Yeah, we were kind of in the red. It wasn't that significant. Then we really began to gap up. It formed a little bull trap, and then it began to tank. And this was all caught in today's live trading session, which again, I really, our LPP team really did enjoy. Again, if you ever want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. As markets sold off, I, of course, began to short by going long on MSTZ. MSTZ goes up when MSTR goes down. It's an inverse ETF. I would not recommend it for beginners. It's a double leverage inverse ETF that, again, just leverage is not a good thing for beginners, and neither is shorting or inverse ETFs. So again, this is my trade. My LPP team likes to see me trade. This is not for someone that's just getting started trying to copy. That being said, I thought it was pretty funny that when markets sold off, I was like, I'm going to do it later on Instagram, but I actually bought the dip a little bit on MSTR. I actually bought a very small amount. I bought like 50 shares. It's $6,500. I'm up $200. The part that I wanted to laugh about is there's a bunch of MSTR investors. I have not seen one MSTR investor that's been holding MSTR since the original pump to highs of 500 that is in the green. I have not met one, not one. The really funny thing about this is I wanted to kind of be like, oh, look, I can buy 50 shares and my average price is better than any MSTR bag holder for the past, year to 2 years, right? Because they're all down or they all added too much at overbought levels. So it's very unfortunate for them, but obviously I was just, my LPP team just loves seeing me poke fun. So I took a long position on this. My big move today was MSTZ. If you are part of my LPP team, please go back and watch today's live session. I did, in my opinion, a very decent job taking profits, not at the perfect and not at the highest level. I am never a perfect trader, but anytime that we reach an overbought level and we saw MSTR that it was beginning to consolidate, I don't like to overcomplicate it. Markets are always trying to find any reason to recover. We all know that it's always one tweet away. So what I began to do was I reduced my position on MSTZ, then ultimately just took profits as it crossed highs of $14.10. Fortunately, I did, again, not being able to predict the future, but always being able to prepare. Markets ended up correcting. MSTR began to recover. MSTZ began to sell off. And I just added more or reopened my MSTZ long position. Why? Well, again, MSTR is testing previous highs. QQQ is testing previous highs. And it's not that. Let me make this very clear. It's not that markets have to get rejected and MSTZ has to go up as MSTR falls, because markets can push up higher, especially based off of the news that was released. What at one moment created a lot of uncertainty and then all of a sudden began to cause the market to recover. According to different news outlets, supposedly Iran and the US have come to a general agreement. And that, of course, then takes away the uncertainty that was originally being injected into the market. That is the story from today. Markets sold off due to uncertainty, supposedly. And then a few moments later, markets recovered based off of a general deal or agreement, being presented between Iran and the US. I still believe, and again, it's 100% my opinion. I've been wrong in the past before. Please do not copy this trade. Again, I'm not like the crypto bros or people on Reddit or on X that need you to copy what it is. No, I don't care about that. I just like sharing ideas. We're testing a previous resistance range. I like the risk to reward ratios. If it ends up going north, kind of like for MSTR, if it keeps trying to push up, okay, I'm going to have to manage and mitigate risk on MSTZ. but there's huge downside potential. And I love that because MSTZ as of right now, based off of current levels, is right around 1350. If it goes back up, it offers about 6 to 6.5% of potential upside. And my downside risk is less than 2%. I believe risk to reward wise, it's very favorable for me. And if we use these little kind of just like, it helps you plan out your trade, and it's more of a visually appealing way to set it up. It's beyond a 3-to-1 ratio, which is all I ever look for based off of my success rate. So again, wanted to present the idea, not because I believe my trade has to hit. That's not the case. I'm going to have to manage risk if markets continue to push higher and it brings MSTR with it, but that's fine. I'm going to lose less than 2%, but I could possibly make more than 6.5%. And I think the risk to reward based off previous setups is worth it, right? And just to add more to the fun, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this. Strategy buys another 2,400 Bitcoin, $78.5 million raised from STRC, and $90 million raised from MSTR. This is obviously super pro Bitcoin guy, and this is after the MicroStrategy announcement. The thing that I want to show you is $90 million were raised from MSTR investors. You were diluted. He did more share offerings. He diluted investors. He borrowed against those shares. And think about that. Remember, I'm not a believer in Bitcoin. Never have been and probably never will be. And that's okay, right? To each their own. Don't convince me. I'm not here to convince you of the other. I think that if you believe in Bitcoin, you should buy it. But why would you ever buy a company that calls itself a Bitcoin treasury when we all know it's a software company, a failing software company that loses $500 million a year, that dilutes you as they buy Bitcoin, as they borrow against your money? How does that make any sense? If you want to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. It's so crazy to me how people are down 80% from previous all-time highs, and even from recent highs. I think they're down like 70%. From current levels, 71%. And they think, oh, watch, you just watch. What do you mean you're down 70%? Even if it does make a full recovery, even then, you were still down 70%. That is not investing. That's terrible risk management. That's one bad trade or bad investment away from giving back all that you've ever made. Like, let's call it out for what it is. Let's take calculated risk with our investments and our trades. And again, I'm very excited to follow up. MSTZ looks like it's beginning to curl on up. If it does end up hitting my take profit right around the $14.20 to $14.30, shoot, I'll take profits at $14. I really don't care. I'll be closer to the $10,000 mark on the day. And again, just so you guys can see, my position is not very heavy. I have a little bit over 4,000 shares. It's a relatively light position, $6,700, and I'm up 68 on the day, but that's just because I reopened my position right now. I'm only up like $300 or $400, which again can be given back on a quick little pullback. So remember, when a stock or an ETF trades with leverage, it comes at a greater form of risk. I choose to respect that risk with less exposure to position size. If it's more conservative and less aggressive or less leverage, then I might feel more comfortable giving it more of a, more position or more size, but not right now. So no reason to take a super risky trade with a leverage-based ETF that comes at a greater form of risk and giving it more size. Every stock and every trade is not the same. So therefore, it shouldn't be given the same position size. We talk about this in the LPP lesson library. Again, I'll do my part in keeping you guys up to date. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. Are we setting up for another bull trap, another rejection here, and a big gap down? Because remember, if we get rejected here and NASDAQ market begins to fall, everything tech related will fall as well. Or do you think that markets on the larger time frame are oversold enough that they're going to begin to recover? A valid opinion. So you guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. And please remember the handful of different companies that are set to report earnings this week. The ones on the top of my list are Carvana and Opendoor. two, in my opinion, overpriced companies that are trading at a very high premium. And I would love to see how they report earnings to see how the markets react. I hope to see you for tomorrow's live trading session whenever you're ready to tune on in. Like I said, I work with one team and one team only. I offer nothing else. It's my LPP team. They get to watch me trade live every day. They get access to our A to Z video lesson library that's designed for complete beginners. And then they get access to the LPP group chat. One-time payment, lifetime access with the current sale that we have going on. It's the second link in the description down below. It breaks down to $1.36 per day. So very inexpensive, especially if you choose to tune on in consistently. Again, one-time payment, lifetime access, second link down below. We'll see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live session. Take care, team.